Good morning once again. We're back. Name is Ace. Doing art today. We're going to be doing some. We are redefining all the details. What we did yesterday. A little bit of time that I had. I went ahead and shrink wrapped the high poly onto the low poly. So that's what we're working on now. It's still the low poly. It just has the high poly details, and we're sharpening those details up. Okay. Hope you had a great morning so far. I'm using these as reference for my webcomic that I'm developing. It's coming along slowly but steady. So we're going to be continuing. I went ahead and finished some of the details around the eyes. This is what I did. I think, man, I don't know. I think I can get those a little bit more smoother. This line here. Let's see if we can do something about that before we move on. I was actually working on the lips. That's why they look a little rough. We're putting in the details for the lip texture, and I gotta start on the bottom lip. I did the top. I gotta kind of render it a little bit, smooth it out. Oh, sorry. I am not fully. Okay, there we go. I think we're locked in now. I think we're good. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Okay, here we are. All right, let's see. Trying to get the eyes to a point. I mean, to an angle that we can. I guess yeah, that'll work. This is what we want. I want to try to make this line a little bit more less clay-like. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try to flatten some of this so that way it is more more of a straight line. That's what we're going to try to do right now. I'm going to grab this and try to pull it down so that way it's all horizontal. The line is nice and horizontal. Looks a little better. I mean, these finer details for what I'm using this for aren't super important, but I don't want to. I want to try to refine my skills in 3D art as well as make references for my comic. Hey, 99, welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a great morning so far. We're going to be picking up a little bit where we left off. I'm just refining the eye a little bit. We got it to right to where we wanted it. And like yesterday, we worked our way down to the bottom lip. I was able to get some of that done. And my next goal will be this ear. This ear right here needs some serious adjustments. But everything is exactly where I want it. Let's see. How's the home gym been treating you? I'm a little sore right now. We have to get back the baller strength, but I'm not gonna do what I did last time I took a few years off. I think when this was literally like 12, 13 years ago. I took 2 years off and I went to Planet Fitness, and I just started doing the weights that I was normally doing, and that was bad. That was very bad for me. After 2 years, the intensity that I worked out at and the my muscles were not prepared for that, and I couldn't bend my arm for like 2 weeks, and my chest was just on fire the entire time. Like I had to put my arms behind my back and lay on them for like at least 30 minutes to get them to straighten out, and then over time they would curl back up. So we're not doing that anymore. I'm going really light and then just very incrementally increasing my weights, but it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. Um, we will get it all back. The ball of strength will return. Let's say I'm sure I could do my previous weights even after 12 years because I didn't really lose that much in terms of my physique, but I'm not gonna do that again. I already learned that lesson. There's no way I'm doing that again. That was terrible. Yes, I know. Yeah, I was curling a lot of weight back in the day, and it caused me some wrist pain because I think when I first started doing it, my wrists were not in the correct position, and so now I make sure that I make sure that my wrists are good. Even today, like not even today, but like even before I started working out again, like I make sure that my wrists are good, because I draw with them, so I have to make sure my wrists are the most important thing to me, right? When I'm working out. Let's see. But yeah, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. I got some supplements to aid in recovery. Just slowly. I just take them every. I don't take them every day, but I take them every now and then. Excuse me. I suppressed a belch. Yeah, I don't know. Can we get this line any straighter? Well, my goal is to just try to do better each time we do a sculpt. Okay, so I don't. Even though this is good enough for me to reference in my web comic, like I have all the details I need there. Besides the fact that he doesn't have any hair or texture, anything like that. But I could use this once he's rigged. But I still want to improve my 3D modeling. One day these models will be the final product because I am every day we inch closer and closer to just saying, okay, we're going to make a video game. I'm going to try to make a video. I'm going to try to learn game dev, and then we'll do some game dev streams someday in the future. But I'm going to have to find a way to fit that in to pretty much everything that we already do. We play a little bit of games on the weekends, and of course the art streams. But I have to work around my schedule, so we'll have to see where we can fit that in. Like I said, I'm not trying. Like I don't, we are a young streamer. uh, we don't have, it's not a we don't have a huge stream here. So I'm not going to try to grind out the stream by streaming a whole lot because that really doesn't. That's not very helpful in my opinion. But we'll figure something out. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm glad too. I'm just glad that we finally decided to do this again, and I have the time to do it. Let's see. Yeah, the eye is okay. These lines here. You know what I was surprised about? I want to show you something. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Hold on, wait, wait, wait. I'm going to show you an image. Okay. No, I need something. I mean, I guess that could work. Maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna show you something because this kind of gives me a little bit of hope as far as progress, 3D modeling progress is concerned. As soon as I find a good picture, of course, I will show the. Let's see. It's a render of Big Boss in the game Metal Gear Solid 4. Okay. I'm just gonna use this. I mean, I found one where you could zoom all the way in, but I can't seem to. I'm trying not to like do this right now because this is kind of just came up in my popped up in my head right now, just now. Come on. What in the world? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to do image search. I'm gonna show you something. Oh, image search works. That's the one thing that, yes, that's it. That is exactly what that is. That is exactly Big Boss. Now let me just see the real picture. I want like the 4K image. Can I get that? I'm sorry to anyone watching this. I didn't mean to to stop fully. It's just something. Just I just want to show you the close up details of um Big Boss. Where's the picture at? What the happened? What happened? Give me that picture right there. That is not the picture. That is not the. Where's the gallery? Give me the. Okay, that's the gallery. Okay, I found the gallery. I'm sorry. That is. Where is it? Come on, we're wasting time. Yo, why are you going to tell me that this is the image comes from here, and then when I click on the thing, I don't see the image. The image isn't there. Why do you see? This is why I'm doing this now on 3D modeling, because when you try to find something on Google, even though we got all this AI now, all this fucking all this stuff, all this search engine, search web image, basically when you okay, apparently I never noticed that he had this. This is an Assassin's Creed reference, but that's not the point. Look at the finer details. They are pretty much. I think we can at least reach this in the detail. So this kind of gives me hope, and this is the pulled back all the way image. Okay, look, these these models actually look pretty good even for today. Okay, um, people take this model and they put them in Metal Gear Solid 5, and um, they hold up with the 2015 people. Okay, and I wanted to like kind of zoom in on his jacket a little bit, but you can see where it looks very low poly up close. So this kind of gives me, it gives me a little bit of relief because I don't have to, you know, like right now, I think we're probably beyond that detail just right now. We're not even done yet. But it allows me to understand that I don't really need to go super far, but still, it's about getting better rather than the look. So that's where I'm at with that right now. I want to try to make a game of my own, and all I got to do is just pretty much just start, just start it. So because I think I got an idea that I want to kind of try to make into a game, and we have been using a little bit of the RPGs from Franchise Friday to kind of get some ideas. And it's right now we're playing Shadow Hearts, okay? Well, not right now, but currently we've been playing Shadow Hearts. What I want to do, what I want to add to my game, what I really like about that game is the monster design, okay? I'm gonna try to think of some really weird monsters now, because that was my favorite. That's my favorite thing about Shadow Hearts so far is the monsters. So we're just gonna we're gonna Blue Mage, and of course Blue Mage itself. We haven't gotten to that game yet, but I want to try to put a mechanic in like that. Okay, I'm just letting you know right now. This is the teaser. This is the first look of the Baller Games. I should call it that, Baller Games. That's funny. Ballervania Games. That's hilarious. I don't know if we're gonna keep using that. It's a really corny, personal build, from survival games that I do. Okay, I call it Ballervania. I did not come up with that name. One of my friends did. I used to call it Terraria Vania, and I was just gonna just change the name. On Terraria, of course, it was Terraria Vania. Now, if I would have changed it to Ark, I would have had Ark Vania. I didn't really have a name, okay? And one of my friends I was like, well, name it, name the world. What should I call it? And he was like Baller Vania. I was like, oh, all right, yeah, and I just stuck with it ever since then. So that's the story. That's the origin story behind Baller Vania. In animation, there's a rule not to over render. Yeah, actually learned that from a really good one of my inspirations in digital art called Dave his name is Dave Raposa. He's not. That's his actual name. He's not called Dave Raposa. I don't know if that's proper, but anyway, um, yeah, his name is Dave Raposa. His name is Dave Raposa, and he does really super rendered pictures, fan art mostly. And he said that he learned how to basically to get the point across by doing animation, and that stuck with me. So, and I kind of do that. I mean, you see my crappy. Here's my starting soon. Okay, this it's really simple. All right, that's really simple. And I did this too. All right, but these were easier because it was just a black silhouette. All right, but yeah, it's just that's like the simplest um utilization of that concept. Okay. My future animations are going to be better than that. I just wanted to do something for the channel. Um, this comic book, I want to have a tie-in animation or like a sequel animation to it. So as far as the look, I want to try to make my art style like an animation version of my art style. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to take a really long time because I got to put all the lines in. I don't really know the basics of animation. I just animate it, and go from there. But we'll see. We'll find out. What I was thinking about doing was animating in Blender and then rotoscoping that because I always imagined it to be, like a 2D thing. And you can make Blender look like 2D as well. But I want to hand draw it because you just got to ask yourself: Are you adding detail at a level the viewer has to zoom in and see? If yes, question if you need to render it. As far as yeah, it's literally like for this. This is literally just practice. This is actually practice. This is practice. I'm just trying to make to get better at rendering by just going as far as I can in the shortest amount of time. But yeah, in like in a 3D video game, I would say like maybe if I like judged it to about because you don't really need to be like this close to the person, even though you can do that sometimes in video games, but just as close as the camera is gonna be, right? I'm thinking of like Ocarina of Time because I feel like that's gonna be one of the inspirations for my game. Like when you enter a door and they show the cutscene of him walking in the door and then closing it, and I say the camera's probably really close to him at that point. So maybe at least like right there. Maybe not no not don't go don't look at that. I'm talking about just picture Link opening and closing a door and they have the shot of the door right in front of them. That close, okay? Not this close. Not anything that's going on the screen currently. I'm not talking about that. And then just basing it off of that, basing the render off of that. Because right now we're at multi-resolution 5. Let's take it down to 1 because I have to consider the render um the polygons used. Let's take it down to 1 real quick, right? This is what he looks at like at 1, okay? That's pretty good. That's not bad. And that's because of the ret topology. So that's one reason why you gotta kind of have to get it going here. But look at the faces. That's 25,000. You have to take that and then add it to the environment. That's actually not a lot, okay? And then kind of put it up, and we're going to bake that. We're going to bake the 5 onto the 1, okay? That's a future step. Right now, we're just putting in the details at 5, and then we're going to bake the level 5 onto the 1, okay? It's part of the reason why I opted to use a game ready character tutorial to make my characters. That way I can have a double use for any mesh that I make. I just have to animate it. I can rig it, and there's some kinks I got to work out there. But once that's done, then pretty much just start animating it. And then once I get to the point where I feel confident in animating these, then I'm just going to learn the programming right then and there. And I already have like learned. I have a lot of learning material for that. So, But yeah, that's just to give you an idea of, and I can do that like on the side. The webcomic is not going to suffer for that because it's already written. I just have to draw it, and drawing in 2D is my strong suit, so I'm not really too worried about taking too long to develop this. I feel like this is the longest it's going to take because I decided to learn this in the middle of doing a comic book to try to help with just with the speed of putting out pages and the consistency, and also to learn the that was a mistake, to learn the 3D medium for future projects as well. So I mean, we're taking more time now, but later we'll probably hopefully we'll gain it back. And if I don't, I still have another medium that I just learned. So I mean, it's a plus for me, I guess. Like I said, I could just draw the comic book right now. It's not like I need references, but um, no, no, I'm doing it this way. I don't. I think. Yeah, but I wanted to zoom in. I wanted to find the one that I found the other day where you can zoom in on the entire picture. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. That's the best I could do. I can't find it. I wish I could. Maybe I could find it, but I'm not gonna try to find it. Actually, I'm actually looking right now. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna try to find it though. I can't find it. I can't find it. I'm just gonna keep scrolling because I know I can't find it. Okay, I'll scroll some more later. Reference is very important. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly the mindset that I went in to this on, because I'm like, I'm not gonna sit in Google Images. Like if I come across something that I don't know how to draw, I'm not gonna sit in Google Images for hours like I used to, and to find something specific. Okay, when I can just make the reference myself, I can actually take more time and get something accurate, doing it this way, because I don't really because finding clothes and of course anatomy, those are really easy. But say like a pose, like if you're looking for like a specific pose or a specific lighting, that's actually really hard on Google, even with today's stuff. And I mean, obviously there's ways around that. You can use actual physical you can set up like a light, a figure. You could do it that way. But I chose to do it this way because it's more it's less space that needs to be taken up in real life, and this medium has a multi-purpose at the end of the day. And I was always curious about this medium, so here we are. Because I come across 3D images all the time. I'm like, wow, how do they do that? I'm like, and then it just hit me one day. It's like, you know what? If I could make my characters in the 3D space, that would solve all my problems. It would take a little bit more time, but you know, yeah, that's why Clip added the model lighting tool. Yeah, that's is that past the subscription wall that they put recently, or is that something that's in the default? I don't have what they implemented. I have the thing before it, Clip Studio. What is it? The one before the subscription stuff all the stuff that they added. I have that. Okay, and I don't want to use AI because it's inaccurate with lighting, and of course there's a stigma behind it, and the whole moral implications and all that stuff. But um, and doing it this way, you don't need AI anyway. It just takes a little bit longer, but you learn more, and it accomplishes the same thing but better. It just takes a little bit more time. It's not like I'm not rushing to meet a deadline here. These are my projects. The deadline is death. That is my death, or becoming infirm, something like that. All right, that's my deadline. And you can't plan for stuff that might happen. So we're gonna go until we get there, or until we die. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna try to show it right here on this stream. It'll be archived. Okay, it's my video diary of my creations. No way, we have the same deadline. Yeah, exactly. The deadline is death. All right. Obviously, we had to go a little, we had to move a little bit faster if we were working for someone, but we're not. This is our thing. We set the pace. Okay. Now I know people are, it's crazy. I follow a lot of people who make games, and it's I'm a little disappointed in how long it took for them to get their games, and not because of anything they've done. It's just because I know what's in store for me. It's for a solo game dev, it seems like, I don't know, somewhere around a decade is like the if it's not even a small game, if it is somewhere around a decade, is like, it seems like a pretty um realistic time, for a solo game dev to release a game that's, for today's market, that isn't a very small 2D game. I think maybe it would take a little less than that, right? But the type of games that I could see myself creating, we're going to be waiting a while. uh, but that's what you got to do. You got to, the time, it'll be all right. Even if there's no return, you gain the knowledge. Most specifically yours. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards a game that's inspired by, at least in part by, well, I have a beat 'em up, but I also have like a Zelda like too. So I mean, that I want to try. Either way, it's going to be, um we're looking at a long time. All right, and then this is someone who doesn't know anything about games, so it's probably going to take me longer. Let's not do that. But I'm willing to accept the challenge. I'm willing to accept it. I don't see. I don't. I'm not. I'm not some, not a prodigy or anything. I gotta. Sometimes I gotta grind it out. So I don't expect to be any faster than anyone else. I'm not worried about the time. I'm actually surprised that I that, like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this. When I first started this, I was like, man, I don't know nothing about this. I draw, and sometimes I am not satisfied with my own drawings, and I want to do 3D. I want to do it in 3D, but I actually got it pretty well. I actually had a model within 2 weeks. Well, we'll say a month. I had a model within a month. It wasn't, as far as this one, but about 2 weeks, I would say it took me to do, and that was before all the rigging and all that stuff. I want to try to put a. There's like a little piece. There's like a little piece of like a fatty deposit right here in the eye socket. That's what I'm trying to work on right now. I'm trying to get the shape right. Bro isn't done with Stardew Valley. Yeah, but I mean, he can relax a bit because he's getting a return on that investment. So I don't even know if I'm going to do that. I don't know if people are going to want what I have. I don't even know if I'm going to sell it, to be honest. But I mean, if it's good enough, why not? Just sell your first game. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Your very first game, no practice, nothing. Just, you're gonna take your tutorial game and sell. People actually do that though. So it's your tutorial game. Well, look at this. Look what I've done. I mean, I could make something. If I can do this, I can make them shoot like a energy blast or something. Right? I don't know. That's not a game, but you know what I'm saying. I'm thinking about like taking. Okay, picture Zelda One, right? Zelda One. Break it down. How do you break Zelda One down from NES? Bunch of boxes, right? Bunch of screens. What if I just work on the game one screen at a time? Once it's planned out, of course. Plan it out first, which I'll probably do that on stream. and then just work on it one screen at a time. Screen one, just a room, okay? Or what are you outside of a cave? Work on that. There's like no. Is there enemies on the first screen? It's like two little octoroks, right, or something like that. And then you go down the steps. I don't remember. Anyway, work on that, right? Polish that part, and then attach it to another room and polish that, and just work on that until all 10,000 rooms or whatever, or so whatever are done. Is that viable? Is that a viable way of doing it? I don't know. I don't know, but it was like I can't. I shouldn't go wrong if I do it that way, right? I don't know. This is coming from someone who doesn't know anything about making a game. Okay, I can make a model and probably a background, so that's a start, right? I can at least design that. But as far as making the guy move or girl move around and do stuff in it, we're not there yet. But once you finish one, you have less to work on. Eventually, you'll have them all done. Yeah, just cave entrance one, screen one. Yeah, there's there's easier ways. Oh, easier than that? Screen one? Work on screen one. Like I'm thinking about designing the entire world, right? You design the entire world, you design the concept, design the enemies. See, all these things are being done at the same time as the game development, but we have to work on one thing at a time because it's just a solo dev. I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the music. There's got to be music. I'm gonna have to find somebody and pay them for the music, but we're not even there yet. But that's just these are just the ideas that are floating around in my head. All right now I have a concept which I will reveal at the point of the start of the development, and I don't necessarily have a story. I just have like some ideas, but um, the world building, the enemies, all that stuff, and then the game, right? And then you just take one piece of that big ass world, and then you just start putting the cells together, whatever you call it, right? Why not? Why not? But I think designing the game mechanics first would probably be like in a void, like this gray void. But I would need like a player character, and then the target, and then you just have a void, and then making sure that's good, and then the world. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I do know this. I want the game to be um as complicated as the player wants it to be. Okay, that's all. That's it. You can do all the stuff if you want, and you'll be rewarded. But if you want to beat the game on like with your starting equipment, I want to make that possible. All right, that much I do know about the game. All right, I know so there's some people who enjoy the complexities, and there's some people who enjoy the simplicity. So um, I want to make both possible. You need to play Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, I do. I do know. I do know that. I know I need to play that, and I'm going to play it. I'm not going to start it until we're deep inside the franchise Friday, because I do want some RPG elements in it, but that's one of my least played genres. So I want to see, I want to learn from what came before. The seven RPGs that eight now, thanks to Shadow Hearts 1, but the eight RPGs that I've played up until this point total, I don't think that's enough to unless I want to make a game like that, which I kind of don't, but um, those games I don't think are enough to learn from. So we'll learn a little bit more. Tears of the Kingdom is very play any way you want. I watched a stream beat the game with only sticks and building sticks. Yeah, something like that. Like I said, I have a concept, and I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. It would please me greatly if people speed ran my game. I wouldn't mind if it became speed runnable, and um I might design the game with that concept in mind. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe not go straight to the boss speed runnable because I know that's a thing in some games, but or maybe I don't know. At least there's a shortest path. I think that's old. See, the reason why this doesn't look right is because the brain is looking for a pattern. My brain is telling me the eyebrow should be here. So typically, what you would do is a test texture and then just draw the eyebrows on so you can see, the final look better. But we're not doing that. I'm just imagining it. Okay, I rely very heavily on my imagination. So just to try to improve my my visualization, the memory, keep that sharp. But the eyebrow is going to start here and then arch here and then end up here. So you're not really going to see whatever this is. I probably should just flatten that down. I'm not really sure why that's there. I don't remember putting that there. It could have been a mistake. Just very, very, very minute details that I'm looking at right now that um, I'm tweaking here because we're just at that stage now. Let's see. I'm learning so much from this playthrough of Final Fantasy 2. I've been looking at it all the wrong way my whole life. Yeah, I remember you were saying something about the spells, right? The way you have to do some of the spells in that game. I since I never played Final Fantasy 2 and I'm going to play it for Franchise Friday sometime after Zelda, um I'm going to figure out for myself about what's going on with that game, but I remember you saying that it was difficult for a specific reason. Let's see. We're going to take this here and we're going to take this and I'm trying to because this should be more rounded. And right now it's going up and then it kind of dips in here. These are very, very minute details, by the way. But hey, look, by the time I make my game character, okay, we're going to be able to make a freaking sculpt the way we want it, with very little mistakes. It's going to be, they're probably going to be at a point where you can look at the 3D mesh and go, hey, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's good enough for a video game. At least that's my hope anyway. That's my goal. I don't know. I could be like a crappy sculpt, but I'll just use it for hey, look at this sculpt, guys. Hey, yep, here's a game character. I learned nothing in the past, however long it took from this point to that point. I don't know. I doubt that will be the case, but um, what I'm saying here is I'm trying not to have any expectations. I'm just trying to do the best that I can here. Okay. I would like to believe that my hubris is just in video games, but that's not always the case. Okay. That's not always the case. Sometimes I feel like I can do it. I feel like I'm good, and then I'm not good. No, I'm not good. I missed something. It's actually way easier than everyone says. I was influenced by media on it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. Right there. I don't know nothing about the games that I want to play. Like uh we're going to do a Souls like franchise Friday one day. I and Elden Ring just got a new DLC. I don't know nothing. I'm not watching nothing until I start playing that game, which is going to be a while from now. I don't know nothing about RoboCop, Rogue City still. I got it though. I'm going to play it. I don't know nothing about any of the Zeldas except the rain thing. The rain thing slipped through recently. Whoops. Okay. I I'm not feeling the fact that when it rains you can't climb up stuff, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It was just something that, popped in, you know, in my feed. Not even my feed. I watched like a top 10 video and it was in one of the top tens. I was like, it's not really a spoiler, but you know, that's how detached I was from the games that I want to play that I haven't played yet. I don't look up trailers anymore. Nothing. Okay, I didn't even look at. Oh no, I did see the Elena trailer for Street Fighter 6, but um my fight pad has been giving me problems, and I'm not sure if I want to buy another one. So probably won't play that game. I enjoy it, but I'm tired of spending money on controllers that are not. And I mean, there's always something with them. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the brand or what. It's a good controller. This doesn't last very long. All the magazines, clips, word of mouth, etc. had you playing it wrong in the past. What game can you not climb in rain? Breath of the Wild. They were saying that you climb like you doing Conan, but you have a stamina bar. Well, obviously like in Conan, but when it rains, it's extremely difficult to climb up walls and stuff. When you're just climbing. Apparently, you get stuff later that'll help you with that, but I mean, that's as far as I know. I didn't look too deep into it. That's just something that slipped in. I don't look up anything on GTA 6 because well, it's coming out. It's not going to come out till next year, and it's probably going to be even longer before a PC release anyway. But once that game is out, I'm not looking up anything. I'm not seeing. I don't want to see nothing because I do want to play that. I don't know if I'll stream it, but I'll play it. I'll definitely play it because those games are very very long form, and I don't just play straight through them. I do the most roundabout things you can possibly do in a game like that. So I don't know if that'll be worth streaming or if anybody would be worth watching that. Plus, it's GTA 6. Everyone's going to be playing it anyway. So I mean, you'll find somebody uh, way more entertaining at playing anything really than me. And so go for it. I'd say, but I probably won't stream it anyway. So I don't know. But you never know. I don't know. Maybe I will stream it. Maybe I won't stream it. I don't see myself streaming it though, to be honest. Subject to change though. Subject to change. But I do want to stream. Actually, I don't know. I don't have it. Oh, that's not exactly true. I'd say that's a half truth. Okay. So looks like I have see that's the thing. That's why I don't want to know nothing about anything that I want to play in the future for that reason because people say one thing and then somebody else says another thing and you're like, "Oh," and it's like and the durability stuff that people were complaining like people wouldn't shut up about that, but you know, when I go into that game, besides the durability and the rain, I don't know nothing about it. For some reason, this has not been accurately doing the symmetry, so I gotta go over here and kind of look at this for a second, see what the heck is going on. I'm looking at this part right here. See, there's like a little extra little thing here. Luckily, I know exactly what I was doing here. On the other side, what I'm going to do is embolden this fold right up in there. Dot hack Imok? Is that the actual title? Because you said that before, exactly. So I'm not sure if that's the actual title. I know about GU and I know about the regular dot hack. I have both of those, and that's another one that we're going to get into. I don't know when though. Dot hack and then dot. What was it? Dot. Hack? I can't remember. Is it dot hack sign? Is that the show or is that the game? Or is it dot hack GU? Or is that the show or is that the game? I don't know. When they do freaking weird titles like this, sometimes it's hard to tell, and then they just add more slashes and dots, and I don't know what's what anymore. Okay, it's been years, but there was a point where I could look at it and see, oh yeah, that's the game. Mutagen, DNA, antigen. Which ones are those? GU, CU, PU? I don't know. EU? What's going on? Hey, Knock Darks. I don't mind durability, just more realism for me to immerse myself in. Yeah, I take it as at face value. I don't know nothing, but I'm just saying like this is the things that I've heard, as I've been going on. I haven't gotten to the game yet, but I try to avoid all the information on games that I want to play until the point. But those are some of the things that slip through. Um, I don't have an opinion about it one way or the other because I haven't played it yet, so I can't really say anything. But yeah, it's I am gonna play it, and it's not gonna deter me. And what I don't want word of mouth to deter me. Usually, um, when I say yeah, I want to play that, I'll if the game comes out and I'm not sure about it, I'll watch a few minutes of gameplay, and then usually, when I pick a game and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play it, but I'm not really sure. I look at it, if it's not a company that has kind of made some missteps in the past, then I'm most likely going to get the game that I'm picking out. Okay, there isn't a lot of Hey, how you doing, Noctart? Um, there isn't a lot of times where I go into a game and then I'm like, never mind. It does happen, but it's not like for instance, um, let's see, we got Bethesda, right? Bethesda is a very um I don't know, I feel like it's got like a love-hate relationship with its fans. Okay, I was pretty big into Fallout 4. I haven't played any Elder Scrolls yet. That's another one that we're gonna get into in the future. But I was a big Fallout guy, right? All right, and they made some missteps with 4, and I'm gonna walk you through Fallout 76 before release. Okay, all right, so I had to mod the game for Fallout 4 to make it work properly because I kept losing my data. It was something about there was a bug in around the Boston area that kind of it's like it kind of triggers some kind of memory leak or something like that. And I was really big into the settlement building. I really enjoyed that part of the game. But that part of the game will break your save as well if you go too far in it. So I used mods to fix it. And that's how I learned how to mod games, was through Fallout 4. And yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I'm almost the same. I didn't put that much in Fallout 4. It's probably about maybe up to 1,000, but very close to 1,000 in Fallout 4. But I learned how to mod games because of Fallout 4, and so when they release Fallout 76 and they say they're going to make it multiplayer, I knew it wasn't going to work because I knew how scripts work in that game. It wasn't going to work out, and of course it released busted. They fixed it, but by that point, it was the the decision to play it or not had already been passed. I didn't want to go back to it. Even though you can probably get it for like $5 now and play it, but yeah, it was that wasn't just it was a lot of other stuff wrong with it, but I can't remember anymore. But yeah, there was a point. It's like that, where I knew like day one, I'm like, I'm not getting that. All right, because I know how it works, and that's not gonna work. And it didn't work for at least at first. And Cyberpunk was another one where they build you up, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, this is gonna sound like a masterpiece then, right? I like Cyberpunk. I like futuristic stuff. I like CD Projekt Red. I played I got into the Witcher game super late. Okay, and then somebody offhandedly mentioned that all of CG Project Red's games released it busted, and then they fixed it later. And then I researched that, and then I said, okay. And this was like in August of what was it? When did that come out? December of 2020. This was like in August or September of 2020. I said, okay. After researching that, I was like, let's wait. I'm not gonna get it day one. I'm gonna wait. And I waited, and because I waited, I didn't get burned. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes what people were going through. Okay, I saw it. I synced it with my own eyes, and I'm so glad I waited. And then 2 years later, one of my friends gave me the game, and it was good then. 2 years later. But on launch, I had the foresight off of an offhand comment. Just okay, let's wait because I don't want to get burned here, and I did. That wait time was really worth it though. Their games became masterpieces. Yeah, yeah. That's all I knew. I played Witcher 1. It was slightly, I mean, I liked it. It had a little chink to it, but then I played Witcher 2. So yeah, all right. Yeah, this is pretty good. Witcher 3, yes, this is the best open world fantasy game ever. I didn't get to see the struggle before that. I got into the game when it was already fixed. So I thought they were, and then everyone always had nothing but good things to say about that company. So No, and then just one person was like, nah. They're all their titles released it busted on launch. I'm like, oh, really? And then I fact checked that, and apparently they were correct. So I waited, and there it is. So there's little things like that that will, stop me from getting something that sounds like something I want to play, but maybe we should hold off on that. It's just very, usually when I look at something like, yeah, I think I could play that. I'm going to enjoy it. I think um, I can tell which games are, I'm going to enjoy for the most. You know. The only time I was completely wrong was Resident Evil 6. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I did not like 6. I was completely wrong about that, and it kind of soured my my taste. I was like, "What? That?" I was like, "Damn, Resident Evil's done? Really? It's finished?" That's how I felt. I was like, "Man, I don't know. I ain't gonna get the next one." And then they come back with 7, and then they remade 2 and 3, and then I was like, because I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll just add Capcom to the list of companies that I'm not gonna." And then all the 7 or 8 Street Fighter releases, all that stuff. But now I play all that stuff again because they kind of brought it back. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. About my initial decision on just swearing off all Capcom games because here I am playing them still. But yeah, Cyberpunk was a disaster on release. Cars just exploding randomly while walking up to them was funny as hell. Yeah, the glitches were funny, and I think it was what's his name? Your friend in the beginning. I can't remember his name right now. Um, but he drops you off in your apartment in the garage, and then he just spins out like destroying all the cars in the garage. Jackie, he hits you. He's spinning. He's like he slams into the wall. He busts through the wall somehow. I don't know. That one was hilarious. It was like the game just goes nuts for a second. In the parking lot garage. Um, they have lots of video of that one because apparently that's something that always happened. And I actually watched a stream of someone playing the console version, and it was like a slideshow. I shook my head in disbelief that they actually released it. It was so bad that those like all console copies were on sale for $5 within a month. I was like, why even bother? But they fixed it. They fixed it eventually. I still wasn't gonna get it. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it. But my friend, he was like, man, here. And he just gave me the game. It was like, look for yourself, look and see, because he jumped in. He jumped into it with both feet, and but he waited it out. He weathered the storm. He's like, yeah, see, it's good now. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I still haven't beaten it, but um, I enjoyed it a lot. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. It didn't, of course, they didn't put in all the stuff that they promised, but for a game that I didn't have to buy, it's good enough. I'm thinking, wait, I think I'm coming back around on 6 on Final Fantasy 6. Is that what you're talking about? 99. My copy of Cyberpunk still glitches all the time. T-posing through cars, cutscenes not loading. The only thing that I had a problem with was if you play, and I still have this problem actually. If you play too long, you stop seeing items that should be in the inventory, and you have to close the game out and reload it. And all the updates that they had since what was it, September of 2022 would break my save, like because they overhauled the game or something, like they overhauled one of the skill trees in the middle of a save, and they were like, okay, you got to start over because we kind of overhauled the game. So uh, that's pretty much it, really. But oh shoot, we don't want that. Oh yeah, RE6, yeah. It started off okay, but as it went on, it just kind of went down, down for me anyway. I am I mean I played through it, I beat it, but after I beat it, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more Resident Evils. And I couldn't believe I said that because Resident Evil was my jam. it seemed like there was like gaming at a low point, overall, like across the board. Like even my favorite series, Metal Gear, like there were some things around that, around the last entry. But now here they are in August. They're gonna do their hand at. They're gonna try their hand at remaking a Metal Gear game. Um, and we'll see how that goes. I kind of want to get it. I want to hopefully it works. I think it was the company that remade Silent Hill 2, which is I that's like the same boat as what was the game that I brought up? Oh, the same boat as Fallout and Elder Scrolls, where I played Fallout, but none of the Elder Scrolls. I played Resident Evil, but none of, even though these are different companies, but none of the um Silent Hills. I got to get into those one day. I went all in on Resident Evil and other survival horrors that aren't Silent Hill. I don't have anything against Silent Hill. I always wanted to try it, just never did. I knew one person that had Silent Hill, and actually no, I did try the first one a little bit, but I didn't own it. I played it over someone's house, so I didn't really get to play it for very long. But it seemed interesting. Yeah, RE6. The one thing I do like about RE6, and this is probably something that nobody else would like, is that people can play as the enemy and try to kill you. You can turn it off, of course, but I actually do like that. Because you're ever bored and you're like, I'm gonna go and just like mess with somebody's game. You can just go into their game that if they have that on and attack them. But the problem with that is that no, you couldn't really find a lot of people playing that game. After launch. It's not like five where I was playing that years later and still people were still joining the game. It's it wasn't like that. I think someone tried to invade my game, or someone did invade my game and tried to kill me. I don't remember because I had it on. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna leave that on just to see what happens. And I don't even. I think someone did. I actually my memory of playing that game it's kind of shoddy because it's a little forgettable. I mean, they have a guy. He was a martial artist. He's like Wesker's son or something. And then there was a I don't even remember the other person that was with Leon, and then grown up Sherry, and then you got Chris and his partner, and you're in China. You're in some mountainous area. I don't even remember. That game was kind of forgettable. Such a feature is actually really cool. Never knew that. Yeah, yeah, I do like that. Even though it could be a little problematic for some people, and just overall, you might want to go into a game and just not be like trolled by people. But um, I do like that they added that. That was actually something that I liked, even though I might not play it all the time or want it on all the time. It was definitely something that was interesting. I think that was the first one that did that. I don't know if there are any other games that did that. Not really sure. Starfield was another one where it's like, oh yeah, all the things you're saying right up my alley, but then like most of the features aren't in there. It was the worlds are kind of bland. You can't actually space travel. It was a lot of things that aren't in the game. And when I got off the plane. I didn't buy Starfield, thank God. But when I got off the first planet, I was bored with the game. I still haven't finished it. That game was actually a little boring, and it has everything that I would want in a game like that. Well, at least it's supposed to. But no. Oh yeah, Dark Souls. Yeah, yeah, Dark Souls. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What am I? What was I thinking? Yes, of course. Other games have that. Yeah, Dark Souls has that. Yeah, and that was before Resident Evil 6, I believe. Yeah, I got into Dark Souls late, but um, yeah, I enjoyed Dark Souls. I'm sure a lot of people do. The only thing I could say about Dark Souls that might be bad is that they're very similar looking. It's not like the difference between Dark Souls and Bloodborne, even though it has the same exact mechanics, but at least one has a different aesthetic than the other, right? At least, I mean, you're talking to somebody who hasn't played Bloodborne though, because it was a console exclusive. But like, yeah, they are very similar looking. You know, as soon as I heard what engine they used for Starfield, I knew most of the stuff they said was going to be in it was BS. I mean, I was already worried because it's Bethesda. All right, Todd Howard, he can sell some stuff, but he flat out lied about a lot of the things. I mean, he tends to do that, right? He seems like a nice person, but I don't know. I can't believe a word that he says most of the time. You know, when he on a stage or something, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't hate the guy, but I don't trust that. I don't trust him. I just don't trust him. I don't trust anything he says. And now, I don't know. And now we got BioWare with a new Mass Effect. We'll see how that goes. That's a whole other thing. But it's it is what it is. It's playing when you don't. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on people or say that this you're people are bad for playing this, or if I really want to play it, I'll play it. All right. I played Dragon Age 1. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't get into 2. And I heard that the series has only gone down from there, but I'm gonna play through them one day. I'm gonna go back and revisit 2. That's another one. Well, besides Dragon Age Origins, I went all in on Mass Effect. I played all of them. I waited for Andromeda for the sale because that was another one that had like a lot of a lot of controversy around the release and all that stuff. Buggy. Even though those bugs were in Mass Effect 2, as far back as Mass Effect 2, people floating in the air and getting stuck. That happened in Mass Effect 2, but we don't acknowledge that. We only care about Andromeda. Andromeda's the bad one, right? But some of those bugs were always present in Mass Effect that they were complaining about for Andromeda. Andromeda's problem for me was I wasn't really big on the story. All right, I wasn't big on the story. The thing that I did like though were the planet maps were really well done, really well done. Um, but I didn't like the story. I didn't like the characters. They were a little. I don't know. They weren't like I mean, no, I can't really say. They were kind of boring, to be honest. But the characters in the previous ones didn't go anywhere either. Eventually, oh yeah, okay, I already read that. Hey, I liked Andromeda. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's bad. I didn't enjoy it as much as the previous Mass Effect games. Terran, which one was that? Terran, mommy? Who is this? Oh, you mean like the human? Which human? You talking about Andromeda? You talking about Corin? I remember that. Like I barely remember their names. I remember PB. I did not like PB. I'm not a fan of PB. I'm not a fan of. There's like two characters they really went all in on, but everyone else didn't. Everyone else is basically Jacob. People hate Jacob, which is I mean, I get it. I kind of get why, but the whole cast was Jacob to me. They were incredibly bland. You only got one alien, one new alien. All this whole galaxy is only with one alien, and then none of that didn't go anywhere. I don't know. I don't even know how would you fix it? I read somewhere that someone would have liked if they go to the new galaxy and the Krogan take over the new galaxy, and it's like how it was up until they had to do the genophage. Someone was like they should have done that. I'm not sure how that would go over, or even if that would be a good idea. But um, I don't know. Man, it was a very empty galaxy. one new alien, right? Because you get that guy, the pink alien. I forget his name. I actually like that character though, and I liked. Wow, I don't remember them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't remember any of the characters anymore. I only played it once though, so forgive me. I played all the Mass Effects multiple times, so it was very easy to recall some things. But I only played Andromeda one time, and that was in 2019, I believe. That was like a year or two after it came out. I think I'm done with the eyes now. We got them as far as we can go. All right, let's just go somewhere else. Where we at? Work on the ear. The fix would have been to have a character from the other games to carry over. If you look at the complaints, it boils down to they changed too much. Yeah, I'm sure that would have helped if Shepard just woke up in another galaxy, like they deleted him into another galaxy, they isekai'd him into another galaxy, but they killed him off. None of your choices mattered in the end. That's where it sold a lot of people. Um, yeah, myself included. I didn't like the way they handled that. They said the choices were going to matter, and they lied. They lied to me. Why they lied to me, man? What happened to the ear? Jeez, this is what happens when you shrink wrap. Sometimes it just messes things up. You're gonna have to fix it. And what happened to this right here? What? How did that happen? A little dent there. We're gonna go ahead and just redo that. Turn it into a bump. And smooth it out. There. Wait, still there. Not that it's gonna matter. He's gonna have hair, so may have to. I don't know. May have to look at the shape of the skull again. Anyway, no way. Way too many games lied about choices matter. Yeah, when I see that tag, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, buddy. Choices matter. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's just. I mean, they to an extent to where you get a point score, for galactic readiness, but it's in hindsight now. I have mixed feelings about Mass Effect 2 because that was the first one that I came in on. I didn't play one until after I played two. All right. And in hindsight, I realized that that was just one big filler mission. It was a suicide mission that went nowhere. It really didn't matter at the grand scheme of things. So it's like this is before three came out, of course. So you thought at the time that this mission was important, but it actually isn't at all. It doesn't have anything to do with the Reaper invasion. You're literally just you're stopping um, what is essentially a third party from kidnapping a bunch of colonies, and you don't even stop them. Really, you only have control over your own crew's fate at the end of it. Every galaxy, every colony that they attack, I believe they got them right, if I remember correctly. And then all of your choices with your squad mates in two does not matter. It doesn't matter in three. Hey, hey, did you romance Jack? Oh well, guess what? She's all the way over here taking care of some kids. All right, none of that matters. Did you romance uh Thane? Well, he's dying. did you romance did you romance Jacob? Well, about that. He's with someone else now. Man, by the way, he cheated on you. Every single Telltale game. I did not play any of them. The closest one that that I was interested in playing was the Jurassic Park one, but I never played them. I know that I've seen their choices though. I've seen some like on Walking Dead, like it doesn't matter which who you save or whatever, like things like that. I don't know the details 'cause I haven't played them. I've only seen them, but I saw some of the non issue choices, the non factor choices. I saw them. I was like, yeah, that's the story just goes on no matter what you do. That kind of sucks. I know people praise the Batman ones, but I didn't see them, so I don't know. I don't know what that's about. The Lie is what sold millions. Yeah, of course. Yeah, The Lie is what sold millions of copies. I feel like they didn't know how to end it. I don't know. Now they're making another one. Will I play it? Probably. I'll probably play it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna day one it. I tell you that right now. When the new Mass Effect comes out, I'm going to sit back and observe. All right. Does the game work? Yes. Okay. Is it good? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out, won't we? I said I don't really want to rely on word of mouth. Maybe I'll pop into a and look at pop into a stream somewhere and look at some gameplay because word of mouth is unreliable too. Um, but sometimes it's a good indicator. If everyone like, oh, this is the best game, like like something like what Elden Ring got, right? Everybody likes Elden Ring. I haven't, well, besides people who don't like Souls games, um, pretty much everyone likes Elden Ring, right? If it gets that kind of praise, and okay, I'm like, man, maybe I'll get it right now and see and just play the game. Maybe they're back. Maybe the Bioware magic's back. I doubt that's gonna happen though, because it's not the same writers, and the even those writers had their issues, with the company. So the choices just change who is in what cutscene. In the Telltale game, yeah. Basically, yeah, it's the same thing. I think it ended how it did so they could sell more future games. They no well, see, they tried to move away from the old story, right? With Andromeda and it didn't work. And that's solely because of how they did it. I don't think it's because they tried to reset everything and, start a new story. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. Shepard's dead, okay, I get it. All right. Maybe you destroyed the Reapers, maybe you're controlling the Reapers, maybe you bonded with the Reapers. I actually didn't see any of the new endings that they created in the Legendary Edition, so I don't know anything beyond the initial choice, red, blue, or green. That's essentially what you're getting. I don't know what they added beyond that because I haven't played it since then, but um, and because I really enjoyed multiplayer, which wasn't in the Legendary Edition, unfortunately. So that was three's one saving grace. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't like the way the story ended, but multiplayer is really fun. I really enjoyed it, in my opinion. So it didn't really matter. I chose my first ending was the synth ending. I thought that was because we spent all this time trying to unite the galaxy. Why not unite the Reapers as well? That was my logic going into it, right? But um, yeah, beyond that, I was like, okay, well, that happened, and then when I started to hear people's perspective on the ending, I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, that wasn't very good. But hey, I like the multiplayer. That's how I wasn't like outraged or anything. It's just that's how I treated it. I was like, yeah, multiplayer is pretty fun, so we'll keep playing it, and I did. And then eventually, I did get the other endings. I played it two more times, maybe three more times, and I saw the other endings that they had at that time, but they weren't much different from the initial ending. Besides the final scene that they show in the Destroy the Reapers, the red ending. Yeah, I miss ME3 multiplayer. Yeah, it was very fun with the my guy was the Krogan warlord, because you could run up, you could backhand, some the enemies, they're just go flying. And then I had a Black Widow sniper rifle and the Claymore shotgun, and you could one shot a lot of things. And um, in some cases, you can solo gold maps. Not necessarily with that character. I think I used a Sentinel. I think it was a Sentinel. Was it a Sentinel? What do they call it? Sentinel Enforcer or something like that. But the Krogan was very fun playing with the Krogan classes. The game had loot boxes though, so that was probably the only bad thing about it. Ooh, microtransactions. I don't remember the name of the species I played as. It was a sewer race that was really ugly and immune to acid. You're talking about the Vorcha. Yeah, the Vorcha had a good class too. I think they had a flamethrower or something like that. They have some kind of special class power. But it was so fun that I ended up playing as pretty much every class. Unlocked them, had most of the weapons. I lost that stuff though because I had lost my password, so I made a new Bioware account just to play the game. And then I was like, oh, hey, hey, look, I remember my no, I contacted EA and I was like, yeah, this is my account. Can I get it back? And it was like, yeah, we can merge it. And it was like, and I was like, yeah, okay, go ahead, merge the accounts together. And they merged the accounts together. And then afterwards, they said, oh yeah, by the way, when you merge an account, the other account loses all the items. I was like, okay, thanks. And I just didn't play it anymore after that. So I lost all that stuff that I got over the years. I was very sad, um, and now and when I tried to play multiplayer to get it back, it's like people look at your rank and they don't want to play with you because you're too low. I'm like, yo, I'm not low. I've been playing this for years, and no, but no, people just they either kick you or they leave, or it was hard finding games as a new player. So it wasn't like it was before when I had all my stuff and I could people didn't care because they knew that I wasn't the new, but with a new account, they don't know that and they just don't want to play anymore. They FF11 you, yeah. Yes, they did. I wouldn't have done it. I would have just tried another way of trying to recover that account, but that's what happened. They merged the account and they, for some reason, that just gets rid of. Well, why would you merge it then? Why merge it if you can't keep the stuff on your old account? What's the point of that? You had the data, just put that data into this account. That's all you had to do. That's what I mean. That's how they do it. I don't know, and I just didn't. I couldn't. I didn't have the strength to get all that stuff back. You know what was funny though? The time that I did play, um, my first the because you can get the boxes with in-game currency, but you can also buy them. But the one box that I got, I actually did get a new. They had a new Krogan class that I got on the first box, and I was like, yes, I got the Krogan back. He was slightly different, but pretty much the same. The Krogans aren't too different from each other, but I didn't have anything else. That was all I had, and I just didn't want to get everything back. So I do have a Krogan race, but not little else. I had the Revenants. I had the Revenant gun, the machine gun that just fires hundreds of rounds at a time. That was so good. We're talking about the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer knocked arts. It I I had lost access to my account and I made a new account and then I realized that EA could just merge your accounts together, but they didn't say that when you merge your account, the account that you're merging into your account, that account loses all the data. You just have your account back, but none of the stuff that was on it. And that's the reason why I didn't go back to the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer because they it didn't have all the stuff that I gotten over the years, and I didn't feel like getting it back. I got one thing back, and that was the Krogan, one of the Krogan classes. It was actually a new class. It was a class I didn't have before, but um, I didn't have my Widow. I didn't have my Claymore. I didn't have my Revenant. I didn't have the Typhoon, the site. None of the good stuff. It was all gone. It was all gone. None of the classes they were. I was like, I'm not getting this back, and nobody would play with me because I was on a new account. People kept. I got one game with one person. He was like rank. He was like hundreds of ranks. He apparently he'd been playing for a long time. That it was only one person that would play. And he played a couple of games and he left. And then everyone else would just they would pop in, they would presumably look at my rank and then just leave immediately. I couldn't get a game with anybody else. And I didn't have the classes that I had to just solo it because I was able to do that with the stuff that I had before. So I just quit. I was like I really enjoyed the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and that was the reason why um I kept playing it and I wasn't really like super angry with. I was disappointed at the ending, but I kept playing it because the multiplayer was still fun. So it was like I was like, yeah, the ending was kind of dumb, but whatever. At least the multiplayer was pretty fun. And now I didn't have that. I didn't have my progress, so I stopped playing that too. And now I don't have it. And they didn't put it in. If they would have put the multiplayer in the legendary edition, I would have bought that day one. But I'm just like, well, there's no point in me buying the legendary edition when I can just mod the old ones to look like the legendary edition and have the multiplayer. Since I know how to mod games thanks to Fallout 4, I didn't get the definitive edition for Grand Theft Auto. I got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas 1.0 and modded it to look better than the definitive edition, and she got to pay an extra $60 for. So why would I buy that when I can make my game look better than that for free with mods? That's how I see things like that. If it doesn't if it had if it would have had the multiplayer, if that would have been new people playing and more people, in the multiplayer instead of like the people who've been around since the game released that only play with high ranks. I could have got my stuff back with new people playing the legendary edition, but they didn't put that in the game. Instead, they took more out of the game than than they had before. They took scenes that didn't matter. It's like, yeah, okay, yes, I get it. All right, Miranda's ass is in the screen, but why not fix the bugs? Okay, why not fix the bugs? You put that there, by the way. You put that there. I didn't put that there. You did. You made these scenes. You also made the bugs. Why don't you fix the bugs? Okay, don't blame me because you put Miranda's ass in the screen. It's not my fault that I have to look at that. It's your fault. So own it and fix the bugs. Fix the bugs. Stop me from reaching the ceiling in Tuchanka because I'm trying to get back down on the ground and play the game, but I'm stuck in the ceiling because you didn't fix that bug. Okay, fix that. I'm not worried about Miranda's ass. That passes in seconds. All right. But that bug I have to reload because of that bug. And if I didn't save, well, guess what? I'm SOL, aren't I? You did that. I didn't do that. You did that. So fix that. Yeah, take the bug sleep. Yeah, I'm not worried about Miranda's ass. Okay. She wasn't even even though they really, really made her well endowed. That wasn't even my first romance. You want to know what my first romance was in Mass Effect 2 Knocked Arcs? It was Jack. Okay, she was the most interesting to me. I didn't care for Tally. Liara wasn't there. I didn't play once. I didn't even know who Liara was. Ashley is dead. If you start in Mass Effect 2, they automatically kill. Um, Wait a minute, I'm wrong. I think they killed Caden by default, and Rex is dead automatically. I think that's how it went before they went ahead and put on the add-on where you can choose your background if you don't feel like playing Mass Effect 1. That became a thing later, but I think Ashley is actually um yeah, I didn't know who Ashley was. I didn't even know she was in 1, but she appears in 2. And yeah, I don't care for Tally. I don't care who else is in that game. You can't even romance Samara. You can romance Morinth though, but you're going to regret it dearly. Ask me how I know that. But yeah, my first romance was Jack. I didn't really care for Miranda. Um, she seemed a bit shallow to me. Let's not talk crazy here. What do you mean? What do you mean 99? What's happening? She was my first romance and death. Oh, Morinth? Yeah. I was like, well, we're not picking Morinth anymore. We're not going to save Morinth. I thought maybe her mom was wrong. That wasn't on the first playthrough though. I was like, well, maybe her mom is wrong. Maybe I can help her this time. Maybe I can actually help her. And her mom's being too hard on her or whatever. Let's save more. No, that is the worst. That is not a good decision whatsoever. We are talking crazy about her butt. No, I'm not. So yes, she's well endowed, but I mean, her character is I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of Miranda. I don't think I ever romanced Tally. I kind of don't remember, to be honest. I don't think I did though. But I do remember that people were complaining about Tally's picture without her helmet on. They said they just grabbed something off of Google Images and like doctored it up. Where's realness? We got to have an intervention. What? Maybe I can fix her. Oh, yeah, more. I was like, maybe she's wrong about more. I'm Shepard, right? I'm special. I'm the galaxy special boy. Maybe I'll survive an R. Yakashi encounter. No, no, you're not that special. No, that's not how it works. I was actually like surprised that they actually went through with that. It's like, no, you're gonna die too. I actually like that. That's one thing I do like about the Morn encounter. But what I don't like is that saving her kind of screws you over in three. I don't like that. But it makes sense. It makes sense. I don't like the fact that, well, actually, it doesn't really matter because a lot of the things that from two were wasted in three. To be honest, like most of the cast, unless you romance Tally or Liara, who are there from one, you're really not going to get much out of the cast beyond that because they're either not in the game or uh, well, no, they don't die. Well, yeah, or yeah, they're not in the game one way or the other. Not in the game. They're off to the side doing whatever, and then on top of that, just to add insult to injury, not only can you not play with them anymore, and you only get like a brief encounter with them, but they can still die, and it's like it doesn't really matter in the end. Oh, I know. Start working at Power Fix the Bus. Man, it seems like they're in a bad place right now. I don't know if that's a good idea working for BioWare. You're just gonna get um you're just gonna be sitting there collecting a paycheck until it's time to move on to an EA sports game. Basically, they're not in a great spot right now. I don't think anyone can fix what's going on at BioWare. Not even the employees. They should have just well, I don't know if I can even prevent that. They should have just never been with EA. If EA would have never bought them, like back in the day when it was just them, then they might have been in a better spot now. But big EA, they kill everything they touch. So they killed Westwood. That was my one of my favorite companies. They made all the RTSs in the beginning. They pretty much the RTSs that the classical RTS they are responsible for making them. They made the very first ones, I believe, and Command and Conquer and Dune, and EA came and got them and took them out. All that stuff went away. They were going to make an online game too for Dune. EA shut that down. I'm trying to move whatever that little bump is away. There's his eyeball right there. I need a visual aid of an ear. Luckily, I have it ready. There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's not all is lost. Maybe the next Mass Effect will be good. So good again. I heard Dragon Age Inquisition. People actually like that one. So and I got that for free on Epic Games. So we'll see. It's probably not going to be like one though. One was the best. The Origins was the best one. I mean, I can't really say that because I played the first one and then a little bit of two. So I can't really say it's the best one, but I enjoyed the first one more than the couple hours I played of the second. But I'm gonna go back to the second. I'm gonna go back to it and I'm gonna give it a fair shake. The only other game I did that for was Final Fantasy 13. I'm very excited to go back to that game as well. I played 13. I couldn't really get into it. Like I wasn't really feeling it. I don't know if it was just at the time. I don't know. I don't feel like playing this right now. I played something else. Um, but I really liked. I saw the gameplay of Lightning Returns, and I was like, "Wow, this is really interesting to me." I don't know how people feel about Lightning Returns, but I really like it. You know, as a observer, I want to play it, so I'm gonna go back and play through 13, 1, 2, and Lightning Returns. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what it's all about. I saw like a couple. I got into a couple hours into 13. I don't know anything about the later portions of that game, so I didn't really mind the criticism of 13 being just one big corridor because in a way 10 is like that, and 10 is one of my favorites. So I mean, it's not really, I don't really care if it's open world or not. I'm not really, that's not really, I mean, I appreciate when they have it open world because I like open world, but if they don't have it, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I enjoyed 13 trilogy. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go back to it. I didn't have a problem with it. It was just, it wasn't the game itself that. Well, I mean, in the way it was. I guess I don't know. I just didn't really feel like playing it. I didn't feel like investing any time in it at the time. It wasn't because of something that the game did. It was just more. It was more of me than the game. So, but I don't. I didn't think it was a bad game or anything like that. Just didn't feel like playing it. So I'm gonna play it. Play it one day when we go through the Final Fantasy games. I mean, that's 13 in, not counting uh Crisis Core and Tactics and what was it, Chocobo Dungeon. I think we got that on the list of things that we're going to play for Final Fantasy. I'm gonna get some of the side ones. Okay, not gonna play. Is, does guys have any significance to the story? I actually don't know anything about that game. I probably will do Dirge of Cerberus though because that is technically a Final Fantasy VII sequel. It's not one that you hear about or see a lot, but that PlayStation 2 game came with the soundtrack. The soundtrack came with it. So it's got to count for something, okay? And it's Vincent. Everybody likes Vincent, right? They should have made an Aerith beat him up. People would like that more. Aerith just she's just in the live stream just beating the crap out of everybody that got killed by meteor or weapons or you can make it like Black Wukong, but it's Eris. And yeah, call her Eris just to make people mad. Call her Eris, and she's doing the staff like kind of like they did with Final Fantasy X too. She's got the guns now. She's not a timid summoner anymore. Now she's Lara Croft or whoever whatever dress sphere you decide to use. And they could do the same thing with Aerith. And you know what they should do? They should flip flop back and forth between Eris and Aerith in the game. Like they call her Eris once, and then somebody else calls her Aerith, and then they just flip flop. That'll really get the fans going. I think. This anti helix shape is kind of weird, and the ear hole seems to have disappeared. I thought I would have gotten that. You refuse to call her Aerith. Yeah, like I'm not. First of all, I didn't play the Japanese version. I played the U.S. version, and second of all, I'm not in Japan. So why would I call her Aerith? I'm calling her Eris because that's what I know her as. That's what it was presented to me. All right, and that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's Eris, not Aerith. Wait, is she Eris in the remakes? I can't remember if they called her Aerith in Crisis Core. I actually played Crisis Core and beat it. I 100%ed Crisis Core. I do not remember if they call her Eris or Aerith. I'm sorry. What do they call her? Do you remember? Did you play Rebirth yet, or whatever the heck, Intergrade, remake, whatever they are on now? I'm gonna play them eventually, but we're a long way from that. We're on our first franchise is Shadow Hearts. That's what we're playing. We're gonna be playing it again on Friday. Crisis Core OG, she is Eris. In the remakes, it's Aerith. Okay, got you. That's what I thought. Actually, I didn't think that. I didn't know. I didn't remember. I remember getting Goblin Punch and trying to fight the optional bosses and using Goblin Punch or something like that. It's like a specific combination that's really good in that game. And I was watching someone play the remastered Crisis Core, and I didn't remember any. any of the game. I was like, I know I did this. I was like, I know I did everything in Crisis Core, and I don't remember any of it. I did enjoy it. The only thing that I didn't like is that they changed the way Zack died. I prefer the original. It was very well, I mean, I guess I kind of get why they changed it because Final Fantasy VII kind of has more of a darker tone, and Crisis Core is more it's more actiony, it's more brighter than that. So Zack's death in Final Fantasy VII fits fits the narrative more because of the tone of the story. But I don't like that they turned it into a whole. He just went Dynasty Warriors on all of Shinra because that raises questions. All right, I think they should have just kept it like, okay, the truck crashed. They found him while he was lying in the mud in the rain, and they just freaking just two tapped him right there and kept it moving. Okay. Oh, what about this other guy? Nah, he's poisoned. Forget him. All right, let's go. That's they. I think that has more impact than what they did than him just going out, like a superhero. Which I mean, it's great if you like Zack, because I mean I kind of get that aspect too. He should he should not be killed that easily, but it gave it a little bit more realism him dying that way. It's more believable. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, they got him. He got to a car accident and they just aired him out while he was while he was. I was like, yeah, that's to me is I think that adds more weight to his death than him just he killed hundreds of soldiers, but he's riddled with bullets. He's dead. Wait, wait, they changed it again in the OVA. I didn't see everything that they did with the whole series of Final Fantasy VII sequels and interquels. They had the Turks game, right? And then they had the Turks game, and then they had the I can't remember them. I can't remember them all, but I do remember there was a oh shoot, I do remember Last Order was it called? What was something like that? I don't remember. I used to know all that stuff, but I kind of I haven't been really been following it. That is not helping me. I hate that it seems like the brush just acts behaves differently depending on what you do. Luckily, we've been doing this long enough to where we can just fix it, but it's weird that sometimes smooth doesn't actually smooth anything under the specific conditions, actually makes it worse, and I have to flatten it myself. I prefer when 20 dudes aired him out in the Crisis OVA. Yeah, I did not see that. So, but it's funny that his death is different in all the different ways it's portrayed, in all the different mediums that it's portrayed in. In the OVA before Crisis Core came out, he jumps out the pickup truck to buy them time. He kills like four guards, but they surround him with assault rifles, and 20 dudes empty all the clips. Oh wow. Yeah, that's interesting. It's even more different in the OVA than it is in Crisis Core. I prefer the original though. I think it's better. Stop doing that, please. Matter of fact, just stop doing different stuff all the time. Look, I'm smoothing it out right now, and it's just okay. Actually, okay, fine, fine. Somehow that worked. I just if you just keep doing it, sometimes it works. I guess I don't know, but I want to push this in. Okay, behind the helix where it belongs, and then take the anti-helix and put it in there. For some reason, I'm having trouble doing that. We'll get it. Those are the ear parts. Yes, your parts of the ear. They all have different names. It's not just wrinkles and cartilage, I guess. They RoboCop him to make sure he doesn't get up. Oh wow. I think that's weird that because the whole thing was that they see that Cloud has the Mako poisoning and they just leave him be, but they made sure to kill Zack. That seems a little, I don't know. But it's like whatever, it's their story. They can do whatever they want. But I do prefer the original Zack death because it's just very sudden and it fits the story more. I don't know. I can't really speak for the other versions of Final Fantasy Seven, the remake versions, because I haven't seen them yet, and I know that there are a lot of changes, so I don't know really know. That's another thing that I haven't really been keeping track of because I do want to play it eventually. So I'm not going to try to. I'm not. I don't want to spoil it for myself, but apparently it doesn't seem to be just a remake. So I guess I don't know. I guess that bridge will be crossed at some point. Just push this up just a little bit. This is a very big brush to be doing this with, by the way. I'm surprised that worked. I want to get this going all up in the heel, all up behind that helix there. I could get in and kind of just tuck it in a little bit. It's not what we want. Just trying to tuck it in a little bit. I'm almost done with my second reference sheet. Oh, nice. What do you Is this for your comic or is this for something else? I'm considering doing reference sheets anyway, even though I don't really need to. Once the character is fully rigged, I can just use it as it, like just be like, yeah, yeah, here's the reference right here. I don't ever have to do it, but I do want to lock in how I want the art to look, so I might just do a reference sheet anyway, just for that. Comic and art fight, got you. Tell is almost done. My workflow means I can get one sheet done every 2 days. Nice. I did a piece in one day once. That's kind of my goal for the comic, but because of all the changes to my workflow since then, I'm not sure if that's attainable currently. I might have to do some speed. I want to do some speed drawing practice because if I can if as soon as I lock down and refine this workflow, that'll be my next thing is to try to attempt to do everything quicker and quicker until we can get it down as low as we can possibly get it, and however long that will determine the rate I put out the pages. I think bi-weekly is probably the most realistic expectation. Maybe, maybe just weekly. It's okay either way, but I'm gonna try to get it. I want to try to continue to tweak the speed as much as I can, regardless if I can't ever get down to daily because that's kind of crazy. I don't even know if I'll be able to do that anyway, but at least bi-weekly. Now I want to stretch the anti-helix just till it's underneath. Well, it kind of stops right there, I guess. You know what we could do is take the helix and kind of beef it up a little bit over the anti-helix. We could do it that way too, because it should be the same thickness all the way around. Well, I don't know. I gotta. I mean, I could use my ear, but everybody's ears are different anyway, so it doesn't really. It's not really a huge issue. I could see that being a very minor criticism. Everybody had same ear. I don't even know if that's a thing. I think I said that before. Instead of having same face, everybody has same ears, same teeth, same same eyes. Besides the color, of course. I mean, everybody has same ear. Everybody's ears are done exactly the same. I I'm not gonna go that crazy with the thing, but I don't want to have same face syndrome on mine on my characters. So I don't think that's ever been an issue for me. So it's not really a big deal. I'm not really worried about that at all. How long have you been doing 3D? I have been doing 3D for about 3 years now. Coming up on 3 years. Yeah. It's yeah, 3 years. Yep, 3 years now. And this is my I'm gonna try to do the math in my head. Let me see. One, two, six. This is my sixth sculpt. And I would say two of those sorry, four of those are like the same character. Sorry, no, three of them are the same character because I was still learning. I just kept using the same character over again, and then when I started streaming regularly last year. Um, I did that character one more time. The first character was the character one of my practice sculpts again. I have them all saved on my computer, but the very first sculpt I did which is just a sphere and it carved in a face because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't know. And then I actually deleted that one. I should have kept it though. I should have kept it just to show people this is where I started. But I do have my second sculpt onward. Art Fight states you need at least one reference sheet. There's a huge drama on TikTok art a few weeks ago where people were raging against people who draw the X ears? X ears. Is that a thing? I'm gonna type in the word X ears. Oh, that looks like a cauliflower ear. A little bit. Wait, is this what I'm looking at? Oh, I see. Okay. So do you mean like this? Like this, right? I've never seen that before. That's weird. The art that I look at, it's not so much um like this. It's a little more like I look at some anime, but it's more like realistic anime. Um, Hang on, I'll show you an example. He draws a lot of NSFW stuff though, so I gotta like I really like the way this person paints flesh, and I'm going to try to Sharingan it one day. But give me one sec. I'm gonna try to find something that isn't that isn't super NSFW, okay? Because I don't have the mature audience thing on, and this is clearly mature. Um, no, that is not. That is someone drawing. I want a drawing that was from him, not someone drawing like him. In XYC, etc. You're a lazy hack if you draw those in TikTok elitist assholes who don't know how to draw attack artists that use it. Oh man, yeah, that's okay. This one is super blurry. I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can't show that because it's showing everything else. Hang on. Can I just see that? Because if I show the Google search, you'll see all the other stuff too. Uh, oh my god, Facebook. All right, okay, it's not blurry anymore. That's also not a good example. You know what? I'm just going to I'm going to refrain from showing this right now because of the lighting. But um, yeah, it's more. Besides the face, everything else is like realistic. The face is anime. It's kind of jarring. It's a little bit jarring sometimes when people do that because it's like two different. It seems like a styles clash a little bit. Um. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to have to call it right here. Okay. I have to leave. All right. So I want to thank you for hanging out in the stream today. If you're watching on the VOD, I appreciate you watching. I thank you. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you as well. I will be back on Friday with Franchise Friday if my schedule allows to. We're going to be continuing Shadow Hearts Covenant. Okay. I forget exactly where I was in that game. I think we did the island, right, with all the stuff. But we're gonna be there, okay? So I'll see you then if you stop by. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Trying to get to